All right, look, on my channel, we get straight to the content. So listen, man, watching the Joe Buttons. Now, if y'all not familiar with what's going on, I'm gonna give y'all a brief summary real quick. So Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl. A lot of people got different opinions. Now, Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists in the world. It's like no confusing that. He's one of the biggest artists in the world, okay? So like that shit, like it is what it is, right? So we listen to Joe Budden's podcast, and I'm listening to him talk about it, right? Ish is so, not Ish, pardon me, Ice. Ice is so anti-black, and I'm gonna get into it a little bit, right? And so is Queen's Flip, right? So you're talking about Bad Bunny, so of course Parks is happy because he tried to beat the podcast over the head with Bad Bunny and reggaeton music. Now, me personally, I don't listen to it. It probably is good music. It's not my cup of tea. Like some people listen to country music. I don't listen to country music. It is what it is type shit. You know what I mean? So they're talking about it or whatever. And of course Parks is happy. And then Ice is like, yeah, well, people hating, and he's just such a raccoon with everything. Like Ice is just so anti-black. So he's saying like, of course, the biggest artist in the world should be able to perform at the Super Bowl. Okay, this is like I said, it don't matter to me because I only watch a couple of the Super Bowl performances at halftime. I really don't care. I'm really there for the Super Bowl type shit. You know what I mean? So I understand that Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists in the world. I get it, right? And he's one of the biggest artists in the world, and he don't, like, his hit songs aren't in English. I get that too. I don't mind it. Here's the dilemma. If Bad Bunny was to perform at the World Cup, I understand that. Performing at the Super Bowl, I don't understand that. Now, football, the NFL, is 53% black, right? 54% black, right? If you add white people to that, it's probably like 80%. I didn't look at the actual number, but I know I got the black number right. But like, if you add white people to that, so basically, whatever teams are at the Super Bowl, most of the team not even going to be able to understand Bad Bunny's performance. So when you're talking about, oh, he's the biggest artist in the world, we're not talking about the world. We're talking about America. You can be the highest selling artist, but not have cultural relevance. Who's trying to dress like Bad Bunny? Who's trying to act like Bad Bunny? Who uses Bad Bunny slang? So, yeah, he's the biggest artist in the world. He's the biggest artist. He's one of the biggest artists in the world, but his cultural relevance is irrelevant. So why not have him perform at the World Cup instead of the Super Bowl? That's just simple shit. And to see Ice like, oh, he's the, like, yo, you gotta not beat people over the head with shit. Because, like I said, I live in a certain area. I'm very familiar with the rapper Skrilla from Philly. His 6'7" has more cultural relevance in America than anything that Bad Bunny has ever done. I know Spanish speaking is like real popular and stuff like that. Most of the country don't speak Spanish. Like, and most of the NFL don't speak Spanish. And it's not a high demographic of Spanish speaking people or Spanish people in the NFL. So having Bad Bunny perform at the halftime show just doesn't make sense. Because for the most part, like, the NFL is really into expanding the game and stuff like that. A lot of people are going to tune in for the Bad Bunny performance. Like, let's say his fan base. His fan base is going to tune in for the performance, and then they're going to turn this shit the fuck off. They literally not going to be there for the game. So for the NFL to approve Bad Bunny, that's not bringing more viewers to their game. Because after Bad Bunny performs, you're going to see a huge drop off because people just came there for Bad Bunny. And see, Parks and Ice will beat you over the head with numbers. Yo, cultural relevancy. Nobody trying to act like him, dress like him, look like him, none of that. Most of the NFL players aren't going to be able to understand any of the music. So to have him perform at the Super Bowl, that don't really make sense. I'm not a fan of country music, but it's a big ass demographic of white people in NFL that relate to the country music shit. So that makes sense. There's not a huge fan base. Like, all right, so let's say you got Brazil, you got Puerto Rico, you got Dominican Republic and stuff like that. They don't even represent a big percentage of being in the NFL. So the NFL is trying to expand like basketball, but they can't because it actually takes a lot to play football, like equipment and stuff like that. When you come, like, it's a reason why you see more people come from poverty playing soccer and basketball than football, because it don't take a lot of equipment. It is what it is. So the NFL doesn't even know how to really expand their game to have it global, where you got multiple cultures tuning in. They just don't get it. It's dumb. Like I said, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but I just hate how Ice is always a raccoon when it comes to like racial topics. He's always going to be extra hard on the black culture and then extra light on any other culture. And black people love to support people that don't support them. Because in the Hispanic community, they don't even like black Americans like that. And here come Ice. Oh, he's the biggest artist. I don't get it. I love his music. I don't understand it, but I love it. I don't love Afro beats. And yo, bro, I think Ice probably likes Afro beats, but he's such a raccoon. He's going to say he don't like Afro beats. It's fucking irritating. Like I said, Joe Buttons didn't, like, you could tell that Joe Buttons had an alternate perspective, but he didn't want to give it to seem like a hater, and he didn't want to face the backlash. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Mark Lamont Hill supports it because he got a half Spanish son that don't even really speak English like that. And then you got Queen's Flip. Queen's Flip is black when he wants to be, and then Caribbean every other time. So, like, soon as the topic started, he was like, yeah, because Queen's Flip is anti-black. And if you watch the Joe Buttons podcast, you should realize that he is actually anti-black. Ice is anti-black. And Parks is trying to create this lane in the podcast for reggaeton music, but go start a podcast for reggaeton artists. There's nothing wrong with that. But the podcast popularity for the Joe Buttons podcast was not established by that fan base. It was established by people like me, by people like y'all. So don't beat us over the head with shit that we not into. Like, we not hating on it. Clearly it's successful, but that's not our demographic. It is what it is. Super Bowl, Jay-Z. You gonna have a Super Bowl performance where people don't even understand what the fuck is going on? Make it make sense. You're gonna have a Super Bowl performance where almost all of the players not gonna understand what's going on? Make that make sense. Shout out to Bad Bunny and his success. But like cultural relevancy in America, it means something. It is what it is. The most popular artists in America, like, especially speaking from a black demographic, you got rap. We only 13% of the American population. So, and we have a certain niche, like we have a certain spot in American culture in general, but it gets overblown because we create a lot of trends and popularity in not just black culture, American culture. So like, when you add Bad Bunny, I think Spanish is like the third most spoken language in the world. So yeah, he brings a crazy fan base. Like, not crazy, but like a huge fan base. But black culture, that's what really turns the knob in America. So I'm not saying, oh, every year you should have, my fault if I'm sweating, it's a little hot out here today. It's a nice little breeze, but it's a little hot out there. Like, I don't have a problem with Bad Bunny performing and stuff like that, but it's just like, yo, Bad Bunny and what he does and what he represents don't represent American culture at all. So what the fuck is the NFL doing? What is Jay-Z doing? Joe Buttons can't talk like that because you got Parks right there, and then you got Ice right there being a coon. What can you do? But like, that's my perspective on what's going on. Like I said, I'm not mad at it. I just won't watch the shit. You know what I mean? Not on no protest like, oh, I hate Bad Bunny. Like, nigga, the music not for me. I won't know one song. Like, it is what it is. You got Bad Bunny on there. Culturally, most of them motherfuckers don't even play football. The fuck are you talking about? I had a friend on Facebook show me like how diverse Bad Bunny is, but it was a bunch of people in like that speak Portuguese, and then he showed Germany. Well, they don't play football neither. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? You would think that you would want an artist that has American relevancy. Not okay. So what I'm saying is, let's say Bad Bunny sells huge numbers in America. All right, cool. But culturally, he don't affect the culture of America. That's why I use Skrilla. 6 7. Every kid is doing that. Adults got to figure out what 6 7 is. Skrilla probably won't even ever sell 1 million albums. But his cultural relevancy in America, everybody knows that in America, bro. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I'm out.